Okay, I started recording. I'm gonna have us listen to what am I trying to think? Just an audio of some really great tips that one of the other Jules, something that she started doing with her teams to get new ambassadors kicked off to a good start. We're gonna listen to that. It's about, I think it's between 15 and 20 minutes. Then I have a couple of other things I want to go over with you guys. So we'll get this started right now. Hang on. Well, I always do that to myself. There it is. Here we go. Now, I'll go back and mute everybody once I start this call. Give me 1 second.
Hi, everybody. My name is Erin. I'm an Emerald Ambassador, and I live in Texas. I've been with Plexus now for
Can you guys hear that?
About 19 months. I turned Emerald in July. I just made the cutoff to make it to Maui. Absolutely unbelievable. And, I worked super hard to achieve that goal, but it's just a dream come true. Cannot believe I will be there in a week now. Just amazing. So tonight, part of my why with Plexus is, and what I want to share with you tonight is that, helping others achieve their goals. And my favorite quote from Zig Ziglar is, you can have everything in life you want if you will just help enough other people get what they want. And I just absolutely love that. So this is what I've come up with for all of you is a 72-hour action plan. This is going to be what you're going to give your new ambassador, or if you are a new ambassador and you are looking to really get off to a fast start with your business, or maybe your business you've been with Plexus for a while and your business is sort of stagnant and you're looking to change that. You want to pick up the pace of your business. So this 72-hour action plan is something that you're going to implement if you want to do that. Now, I have to give credit where credit's due, and this is inspired, and a lot of this information was provided by Leslie Zann. She is a motivational speaker, a multi-level marketing coach herself. She's been in the business for over 20 years, was the top of her company at one time, and she came and spoke to a group of Plexus ambassadors a couple weeks ago, and I was in that group, and it was just amazing, and she gave us some really great tools to use. So I am returning that and hoping to help all of you with some of the knowledge that I was given. And so this is a great action plan to give to anyone, to a new ambassador or someone who's looking to get their business off to a fast start. The thing is that it's simple. And you've got to keep it simple. The information overload can paralyze people. They don't need to know all the products and all the ingredients. You need to keep it simple. And also, this action plan is going to increase the likelihood of a win. That's super important. The greater time between a win and enrollment, the greater the odds that they will fall off. I know we've seen that happen. I've been guilty myself of, just giving a new ambassador that I've signed up a ton of information, and then I, say to them, hey, I'm just so excited. Can't wait for you to get started. Here's all of this information now. Good luck, and let me know if you need anything. I'm right here for you. And, a week goes by and 2 weeks go by and they do nothing and you're just sitting there frustrated thinking, what happened? Well, the chances are it was because they just didn't have the tools. They didn't know exactly what they needed to do. All right. So this is going to solve that problem. Here's the first step for you guys. What you need to do, first off, is write down your goals for your Plexus business. Where do you see yourself in 6 months, in 12 months? You need to set a date for those goals. And you're going to send this back to your upline. You're going to let them know what your goals are. For me personally, to hit Emerald, it did take me setting, I had that date. I had to be Emerald by July to get to go to Maui. So that forced me to really push harder and push myself harder and do things, I just step outside my comfort zone. It pushed me outside my comfort zone to have that goal, that end date. I didn't realize the power of that until I actually did it. And so now I've set a new goals for myself and given myself a deadline because I realized how effective that was. Step 2, you're going to write down your why. The clearer this is, the easier time you will have. Plus, it will carry you through those tough times. We all have our ups and downs in our business, and the stronger your why is, the more convicted you're going to be in your business, the stronger that belief, and the stronger that passion, that you always go back to your why. Anytime you're feeling down or, you haven't signed anyone new in a while, you need to go back to that why, and that's going to get you going again. That's going to get you motivated. Your why can change. For me personally, my why started out one way, and I wanted to feel better, lose weight, have more energy, but I also had a why to contribute financially to my family. And you want to let people know about that. Don't overlook that, or don't think that you can't talk about that. That will resonate with so many people if you talk about the financial aspect of it and the why, the business side of it. You need to make a digital why. So this is something a lot of people, a collage. This is something a lot of people on my team are doing, and it's been super successful. Even if you've been with Plexus for quite a while now, I highly recommend you do this. You can use an app on your phone, something like Pick Collage, and make a why and post that on our Facebook page and tag your upline sponsor. And this can be something that you do right out the gate as a new ambassador. That could be your very first post on Facebook, but it needs to come from the heart. It needs to be genuine. I'm not talking about just a before and after picture. I'm talking about maybe it's a picture of you and your family, and that's your Plexus why. You're doing this because, you want to feel better. You want to be a better mother, a better father, a better spouse. Because when you feel better, then, that affects the whole family. And then maybe it's to, help your children with their college fund or whatever that may be, that can go into your why collage. And then step 3, you're going to create your dream team list of 100 names. So you can use the Frank's method here to come up with your 100 names. That would be your friends, relatives, acquaintances, neighbors, kid connections, and spouse connections. And no assumptions here. We don't want to exclude anyone just because you think they don't need the products. Just because you don't think they need the financial side of Plexus, that you don't think they need the business, or maybe don't assume that they don't have the time. Don't look at someone's life and think, well, they're too busy, they've got too many kids, they've got too much going on, they have a full-time job. They would never want to work with Plexus. They would, they run marathons, they're super fit. Why would they ever want the products? Wrong. Do not do that. Some of the most successful people in this company, and they are diamonds now, they started off, they were very fit and healthy, clean eaters. They were super busy, lots of children, homeschooling. They had working full-time jobs, and they reached the top of this company because they have a why that you do not know. Do never, ever assume. You don't know what's going on behind closed doors. You don't know if they're struggling to pay the bills, if they are struggling to meet that private school tuition. And, everything appears to be perfect. They look like the perfect family, but you don't know what kind of struggles, health struggles they're dealing with. So that's Actually, that's my number one tip out of all of this. Never assume anything. That's something that's really come back to me over and over again. Some of my top people in my team, never in a million years would have thought that they would have the passion and have the why that they have for Plexus, but they do. All right, so step 4, reach out to this top 20 out of the 100. So go back and really narrow it down, and you're going to come up with very genuine and sincere ways of reaching out to them, messaging them, emailing, calling. And, it could be something like, hey, friends, want to start off with something that would compliment them and let them, in a genuine and sincere way, and let them know why that they made your top 20. Tell them that. Say, I was challenged to create my top 20 dream team list, and you made that cut, and this is why. You have this personality. You're magnetic personality. You're so funny. You're so smart. You've been so successful in X, Y, and Z. And that's why I'm reaching out to you today. Plexus has done this and that for me. If you don't have that health testimony yet, just talk about, it can be anything, the energy, sleeping better, whatever it is, or you talk about someone else, your sponsor maybe, or someone else that that's had an amazing health testimony, and talk about, a little bit about the products. You don't want to go overboard. People will just glaze over. But and then you want to tell them why you think they would be amazing to be on your team, and what Plexus has been, what Plexus is doing for people, the business side of it, what it's doing for people. And if you don't have a story there yet either, then you need to find someone in your upline that does have an amazing business story, and you need to reach out to them and ask them to share that with you so that you can share that in your message to people. And you also want to potentially offer samples. That's something I've done. I offer a 3-day trial. You don't have to do that, but that's something I'll end with in my message and say, hey, I'd love to send you a sample. What's your address? You can also send them a stick pack of Slim if you would like. And then step 5, you're going to set up 3-way calls with anyone that responds and says they're interested. So you're going to set up a 3-way call with your upline, and it could be whoever signs you up in Plexus, or find the next highest ranking upline that actually has experience and has had success in the business, and that can help you out with this 3-way call. So why do a 3-way call? Well, this is going to help leverage the experience of your sponsor or your upline. It's also going to be amazing training for you to help you develop the language skills and how to speak to people about Plexus and opportunity by listening how someone else would do that. Then it's highly duplicatable. It's super simple and easy. 15 minutes. Don't take up too much of their time. Then step 6. This is something that's been very successful and worked really well with my team, is buying samples. Right off the get-go, when someone signs up, if they're looking to really have a fast start with their business, then what I would suggest they do, something that definitely don't have to, don't take me wrong there, but this is just a suggestion, all right, to buy 15 3-day sample packs. So in your back office, you can buy either a group of 10 3-day sample packs or a group of 5. And so I will suggest that they buy 10 and then 5. So maybe 10 of Slim Accelerator, 10 of Slim Boost or Slim Block. And what this does, it immediately gets them over their 100 in personal volume. That in order to be commission qualified, you must have at least 100 in personal volume. So this right out of the gate is going to get them commission qualified, which is a really great thing. They're right there, they're going to have a win. We talked about earlier that the longer time between enrollment and a win, the more likely that they'll fall off. So right there, it gives them a win. They're already going to make commission off of those sample packs, and then they're going to resell them. The other thing they can do, if they don't want to do the 3 days, they can buy 6 of the Slim 7-day trials. You can buy those individually in your back office, or you can buy the Slim Accelerator or Slim Boost 7-day trial packs. And what you're going to do is post on Facebook, maybe when you get your packs in, you take a picture of them all laying out on the counter there and say, just got these in. They're going to go super fast. Message me before, to save one so I can save one for you before they're all gone. And then when the person messages you, you're going to give them the prices for it, and you're going to explain a little bit more about Plexus, and you're going to explain a little bit more about the business opportunity as well. Just planting that seed right there. This is something one of my newer ambassadors did last month and really ran with it, and she got nearly 3,000 in PV she would do fun little things like go to work, and she would take a selfie with a coworker and post it on Facebook and say, oh, look, Sarah just bought a 3-day and we're rocking Plexus at work, and then she'd do another post, and she made these cute little gift bags and put 3-day samples in them to deliver to people. And she took a picture and said, I've got 4 of these left. Who's next? And I'm delivering Plexus tonight or something, something fun and cute. She changed her profile picture to a picture of her with her 3-day trial pack of Plexus Slim and Accelerate. So it really worked well for her to see enthusiasm and the excitement right from the get-go. And I would also suggest you seek out a video on YouTube by Molly Orr, O-R-R, her last name, and she's an Emerald ambassador that has a great video on how to sell 3-day trial packs. It helped her get to Emerald, and it's something I've used 3-day trial packs in the very beginning of my business. Half of my level ones, or a little more than half of my level 1 ambassadors I signed because of 3-day trial packs. So they are effective and they work really, really well. All right, then the last thing I'm going to talk about tonight is something that we've been doing in our team that's worked super well too for new ambassadors is having them post about a 7-day challenge group that we've created in our team. It's a secret Facebook group. And so I'm having each person on my team post on Facebook that they're looking for 10 people to sample Plexus for 7 days. And they'll say, anyone who is interested, please comment me in the comments below. And then what we'll do is we'll put that person, once they've gone on and bought the sample online, so they would private message them and they would instruct them on how to buy a 7-day trial pack. And then they would add them to the secret private Facebook group. And in the group, they're going to participate, and we've asked them to give honest feedback and post in there. And by the end of the 7 days, the goal is that we've provided them with enough information. We've posted about the products in the group. We've posted about the opportunity in the group. And we've allowed them to post their experience with the products in the group. And it has been overwhelmingly positive. Most of the people have been reporting just amazing things within the first 3 or 4, 5 days of taking the products. And we had over 200 people, almost 250 people added to that group that bought 7-day trial packs just from my team alone. So it was hugely successful and super fun and a great way to get your new ambassador going right off the gate. They're going to get right off the gate, they're going to get a win immediately because most people don't have a problem spending, $20, $25 on a sample. So it's a great way to create some excitement in your team and get those early wins for your new ambassadors. All right, so that's all I have. I hope you guys found this call to be super helpful and motivating and inspiring to you. And please do not forget to dream big. Go Plexus.
Okay. Hang on a minute. Does it show that it's still we're still recording to you guys? Okay. I think I almost pushed a button that said stop recording. I was meaning to push to make that thing go away. Okay. So we jumped into the 7-day thing this past week on the butterfly page. I will say that my only regret having jumped into the 7-day thing is that I personally didn't add more people to that page, like me, my own people. And I added a few, handful, 2 or 3, I think, that were my own personal prospects. And what I thought was they were prospects that I knew they were hot ones, and I didn't really push on the other ones because I thought I'm going to have to be manning that page. I'm going to have to be making up the content for that page. I've never done this before, and I had no idea that that page was going to be the next hot ticket item for what this group has been. I mean, holy moly. And I sort of discussed with you guys last week the fact that I didn't make it a completely secret page so it wouldn't be a whole mess trying to get your people added to it. So, therefore, other people, if they saw it, if they weren't on our team, they were like, oh, a 7-day challenge, and they jumped on there. So, it's been like, when I was doing this call last week, I was like, this is awesome. There's so many people on there, and they are all so excited. Then it's like we caught the flu in there for a few days, because if you've ever noticed that if one person thinks they might have had a headache, then everybody's like, oh my God, come to think of it, I think I had a headache today too. And so what I had to point out, because most of these people, I don't even know whose prospects they are. I don't know if they're one of y'all's prospects or like, a total other team's prospects. So I'm going, I'm wanting to shut it down. I'm like, hey, simmer down with your headaches. I mean, like I have any control. But what was happening is 10 people out of I think it was almost 1,300 people, 10 people were being very vocal. 10 people were being very vocal on the call, 10 to 15 people. So I had to do a video pointing out that that's less than 1% of the people on this page, so on and so forth. Anyway, go on. He's been waiting all night for me to get on a Zoom call. He won't ever let me take a picture of him, ever. Like, he runs from the camera, but when I'm on the Zoom call, I think he just likes all of y'all so much. Anyway, that group, aside from that, which I've actually thought of some remedies to basically really head that off if we do something like that again, because for one thing, I think if your opening video talks about the fact that sometimes people experience a detox reaction in the beginning, and one of the things that you have to do to combat that is make sure that you're not starving yourself and make sure you're hydrating properly. People will automatically think, oh yeah, maybe I'm not hydrating properly, because that's almost always the case. And if they think about it after the fact, it's like you've attacked that too late. They're like, I don't know, I've just had a headache for 3 days and I think it's your fault, And so you'd rather be like, okay, I warned you about this in the beginning. Make sure you're hydrating, so that they'll blame themselves instead of blaming me. Do you see what I'm saying? They'll think, well, yeah, that's true. By the way, you can blame almost anything on lack of water. Any symptom Plexus gives, you can blame it on lack of water, because one reason: the world is dehydrated. So basically, if they're like, oh no, I'm drinking plenty of water, you can almost always count on that they're lying to you. Period. So I'm just telling you, I know this for a fact. Everybody, when I quiz them down, I say, how much is enough water? How much water are you drinking? I don't usually say, are you drinking half your weight in ounces in water? I say, how much water are you drinking? And they'll say, like 3 water bottles plus a large tea. And I'm like, that's not enough. That's not even close to enough, because you're the size of a full-grown man. You know what I'm saying? That's not close to enough water. So anyway, I sort of got off topic there, but that headache thing had me down for a while. I was like, what are we going to do? The sheer volume and magnitude, though, of the 7-day challenge page has been amazing. I don't know if all of you have kept up to the point where basically we've rounded it out. We've come around to where pretty much everybody's either rounded out their week of their 7 days, or they're still in the middle of it, which is fine. We did a couple of drawings. There were like 200 people commenting, and I was making it difficult. Jetty said, don't make it easy on them to get in the drawing. He said, ask for 4 goals that they have in their mind. when they joined this group, what were your goals? Why did you join this group? And I was like, 4. I was thinking, people are not even going to tell me 1. They're going to be like, I don't know, somebody put me in here. Like I think that was like 280 people or something like that when we did the drawing that actually told me 4 goals that they had in mind. And I was like, wow. And you have to count in the fact that probably the majority of people didn't even see that contest. So the ones who saw it probably did enter it. And then I did another contest asking them, I don't remember, but none of it was, they had to read through I put my link to all my testimony posts and I said, go down through here and find a topic that's interesting to you and read about those testimonies and tell us what stood out to you the most. A couple of things that stood out to you the most. And people actually participated in that as well. So I'm bragging on this 7-day thing, and it wasn't my idea. Like, I stole it from someone else. But it's work. And I also, there's no script for it. Everything I was doing was coming from the online party script. And I probably, if I was going to do it on a smaller scale, like if you guys decide to do it and you want to do it maybe for like yourself and your level 1s, or yourself if you don't have a huge team, if you want to do it for yourself and your team, one thing I would say is you could probably do it a lot closer, a lot more closely following the online event pajama party type script. Because I decided not to be posting that often because there were so many people on the page and it was like the busiest. So many people were saying, this is what's going on with me today. This is what's going on. And there was so much activity. I thought I really need to do 1 pertinent post or 1 to 2 pertinent posts a day and keep it pinned to the top. That's just a judgment call I had to make a part of the way into it. If you did it more like on a smaller scale, I think you could do it a lot more. You could basically stay right with the script of the online pajama party and space those posts out to where you're doing 3 or 4 posts a day, and people won't have a problem finding the posts that are made by whoever's hosting it. Does that make sense to everyone? Okay. I can't tell if it does or not, but let me see what everybody's saying on chat, if anything. Yeah, prospects. Okay, Crystal, you said your prospects were overwhelmed, but let me ask you this. You can type it or you can say it either way. Is it because they were overwhelmed by there was too much information on that group? I can't see if. Yeah, okay. Kim was saying same thing too. So you were able to start tagging them. Okay. Okay, so I'm following along. I'm understanding what you're saying here. Yes, other people posting. Okay. So I was proud of the fact that this page was so huge and then the page became overwhelming. That is actually why I think that you don't want to do it with a handful of people because there's not nearly enough people in there to back up with testimonies. There's not enough people to join in and say, yeah, it worked for me too. I loved it. There's not enough people to actually show that lots of people are interested. So you don't need to do one like by yourself, in my opinion. There needs to be a little bit of bannering something going on. But there was a lot of communication on that page. Now, I will say this. Not everybody's people were overwhelmed. Lots of people's people, because lots of people have signed up a lot of people this week. Like, lots of ambassadors on our team and other teams have messaged me and told me, oh my gosh, this is the most excited I've ever been. I am going to rank advance this month because of the 7-day page. So not everybody was overwhelmed in a bad way. I think a lot of people were overwhelmed in like, oh my gosh, it's a personality type thing. Because a lot of people were like, I had no idea that this many people were getting great results. I had no idea that this many people were. So I think it really comes down to if you prepare the people before you put them in that group. There's going to be a busy page. There's going to be lots of people. What you have to do is go to the pinned post at the top of the page every single day so you don't miss out on the drawing. You might even private message them. There's another drawing going on right now if you want to get in on that drawing. I didn't even do a lot of drawings because of the fact that the page was so busy. So the reason I'm talking about this a lot and the reason I played that call for you tonight is because if I'm going to put my forecasting glasses on, I forecast that I'm probably going to do something similar to it maybe every month. I need to actually just sit down and think about how I need to go about it, as far as it doesn't always need to be a 7-day trial, probably. However, for the purpose of actually getting people to join, the 7-day trial is going to actually be probably your best bet, because so many people, did you see how many people were like, I lost 3 inches? And I'm like, it was 7 days. I mean, and they were talking about from their waist. So I'm going to tell you something that the 7-day did for me. It built up my belief, because sometimes you can be like, gosh, I don't know. I haven't seen a lot of stuff going on if you don't have brand new customers yourself, if you don't have brand new prospects yourself, and you're all like, I have a ton of old customers. I don't really hear from them much. And then you get on a page like that and you're like, in 7 days, tons of people lost several inches each. And you're like, okay, that's exciting. I don't care whose people they are. That just builds up my belief in the products that we have, so on and so forth. So if you didn't get to be on that page, definitely want to join in on the next one. Okay. Hang on. Let me look at my notes. I took notes from her call on my notes portion of my phone, and I'll, if you listen to the call, you'll be able to make sense of the notes. If you want to go back and refresh and be like, okay, this is what I need to do. This is what I need to do. As far as new prospects go, I took good enough notes on my phone that I'll put them in our butterfly page. I guess the next thing I'm going to talk about is the fact that I've had a crazy week the past week from last Wednesday till today. And prior to then, Jetty and I have been jumping some huge hurdles with family. And I appreciate everyone who has reached out to me in regards to prayer, because this is not like family. This is not like, oh, family is sick or family is whatever. It's family are crazy. And it's been going on for a while. And so anyway, I appreciate everybody very much who reached out to us in regards to that. And anybody, even if you didn't, if you were praying for us, I really appreciate that. This week, from probably about Thursday on, I have felt like we were under more attack than I have felt in years. And I reached out. Hang on, I've got my days all messed up because of the holiday. Monday night, I think, I noticed that several people throughout the day on Monday had said on the Jules page, in one way or the other, had basically said, I don't know if we're going to get to go to Maui. Such and such is going on. I don't know if we're going to get to go to Maui. It looks like, sorry guys, we may not be in Maui, because like one family's little girl got bit by a cottonmouth on the foot. And when I was reading that was when it actually hit me. I was like, because I was thinking, Lord, what is going on? What is going on? My family was under attack. And I wasn't piecing together that a lot of leaders in the company, well, when it was literally a snake, like literally somebody got bit by a snake, I was like, oh, thanks for the symbolism. Okay, I get it. We're under attack here. And so I put a post on the Jules page basically saying, hey, I just want to reach out and say, if anybody is in need of prayer tonight, I'm fixing to go to bed, fixing to be praying. And my inbox was just like boom, 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 boom. Not even the several ones that were saying that they were saying it openly. This was ones who hadn't said it, at least where I could read it. And I was like, okay, I don't know what this is. Is this a season? Is this something? And so I really was starting to seek God about it. And he reminded me last year during Labor Day, we had this Labor Day weekend, we had this similar situation. I mean, it was an attack that felt the same amount of overwhelming. And I remember back then, a year ago, the revelation was given to me because some of you guys have heard me talk about my mother-in-law. She's kind of nuts. She has premonition dreams. She had dreamed for several months leading up to last year's Labor Day. She had dreamed that Jetty and I were going to have a baby. And I was like, no, I don't think so. Jetty's got a vasectomy. I don't foresee that happening at all. And anyway, leading up to Labor Day last year, she finally said, after I just told her, no, that's not going to happen, she said, I mean, not that it's impossible. I understand you could still have, whatever. But I was like, I don't think so. That's definitely not in my plans. Finally, she came back and she said, I think it's more symbolic. I think the Lord's trying to show me that you're going to go through a period, a time, whatever. It's going to feel like it's going to be awful. You're going to go through where you're going to struggle for several months, and then you're going to have something that's awful for a short period of time. It's going to be like labor and delivery. And she said, I think maybe the Lord's just trying to encourage you that on the other side of it, there will be joy and transformation and birth, basically birth. And it happened, like, she kept saying that, and I was like, I don't know. Well, last year, Labor Day weekend, Jetty, we're having like hang on a second. Oh, okay. Last year on Labor Day weekend, we had gone out of town to get away from some nonsense, and we're sitting there, and Jetty threw his phone on the table. He said, it's Labor Day weekend. Like, it dawned on him. He goes, like my mother has been predicting this birth or whatever. He goes, this is all Labor Day weekend. It was all like a metaphor or something, and I was like, oh. I was like, well, I'm glad she warned me, because this felt like it was going to last. I thought, this is going to last forever. Hang on a second. Do y'all see that? Does it keep flipping screen? Okay. So anyway, this year's Labor Day was the same. And the reason I felt like I shared a video earlier, I had this like, I don't know, I get these like visions sometimes, and I had that happen to me today. So I made a video. I put it on my new group, that Metamorphosis group. And anyway, if you're not on that group, I thought I just want to share with you guys tonight that if you have gone through a week this week that you're like, oh my God, it's been unbearable. And I know lots of you have, because many of you have messaged me. But if you're struggling and you feel like whatever, you feel like there's no hope for it, I wanted to tell you guys that I feel like that it's a repeat. And that it's just a season. Like, it's a season we're going through. It's going to feel like giving birth, whatever. And I'm not even talking about your business. This may be in your personal life. It will obviously impact your business. But if you're one of the people who's reached out to me, I feel like it's a season, and I think we're at the end of it, honestly. Because I think there's going to be all kinds of amazing transformations, changes that are coming. I feel it in my spirit. Amazing, big, like, huge things that are coming. If you haven't watched that video, I urge you to definitely, I know so many of you have reached out to me and said, I feel like something big is about to happen. And I'm like, yes, and I don't know what it is either. I have no idea, but like, there's a shift. I guess also too, the more right-brained you are, the more you've got the antenna on, and you're like, you can tune into those things. So if you're all like, I don't feel it, I don't know what you're talking about, don't be mad at yourself. That's just probably because find one of your artist friends and ask them what they're feeling. You just go over and help them clean their house and have them tell you what's going on, because they'd be thrilled. They'd be like, yes, thank you for cleaning my house, and I'll tell you everything I know in the spirit. And so I don't know why I was supposed to share. Hang on a second. I don't know why I was supposed to share all that with you guys, but that was the other thing that was on my mind. I really wanted to share that call with you guys, but I really wanted to tell you that, and so I just did them both. They have nothing to do with each other, pretty much, basically. So I really wanted to do them both because it looks like Jetty and I are going to be out of town next week, like in the tropics. Wait, the tropics in the tropical place. I don't know if that's the tropics, is it? I'm a real geographical person, so we're going to be on the island, yo. And I don't know exactly what's going to happen next week, but I can say this. There will still be a Zoom. I just don't know exactly because there's like a, Jetty, how many hours? It's a really big time difference. I don't know what you just said. 5-hour time difference?
It's 4 or 5.
Okay. It feels like an entirely different, like 2-hour time difference will knock you kind of crazy. However many hours this is, it's not quite like China, but it feels sort of like it's completely weird. And just when you get used to it, you get to come home. And it's way easier to get used to it in paradise than it is when you actually get home. And I think both times now we've slept for almost a week. True? Like, it's like we can't get our everything.
There's 5 hours behind us.
5 hours, okay. I knew it felt like, you can't really complain because you're getting to go spend, this time in paradise. And so it makes it worth the plane trip and all that kind of stuff. But here's what I want to tell you what else I see. God's been showing this to me for a while, probably for the last 6 months. I'm going to be taking a lot of you with me next year, and I'm not just speaking out my rear, okay? There's going to be a lot of you go next year. And here's the most interesting part. I'm going to be taking a lot of you that are brand new ambassadors. I've been shown that, like, it's like people who've been at the company for 3 months right now, are going to go with us to Maui next year. And then I'm going to take some of you that have been with the company for 4 years or whatever. I haven't quite been with the company for 4 years. And I'm really excited about that because I really feel like what's about to take off. And I don't talk about this kind of stuff much because I don't want you guys to think that I'm just saying this so that I'll be like, y'all excited? Are y'all excited? I don't really talk about projections like that very often, just because I don't want you to think I'm inflating something to make you dream big or whatever. But I do want you to dream big. I want you to have like amazing dreams. And what I see going on with this company is that he's taking these dreams and making them into something way, way, way bigger. And it's not really about us in the long run, like me as an individual, Jetty as an individual, one of you guys as an individual. I shared last week some of my heart about this, but how literally God is clearing the junk from our minds so that he can be we can be more in tune with his spirit. And that's one of the ways he's doing it is with our products. I mean, I don't know about everyone, but the majority of the people who get on these products, they are more, well, you're calmer, you're more patient, and you have a better antenna. You have a better antenna. even if you have the left brain where you like, whatever, just more in tune with a bigger picture. And everybody seems to be feeling that right now, really feeling it. It's almost, I was telling Jetty earlier, I said, like how the moon controls water, how it controls the waves. Well, we know that that's true, and that doesn't freak us out. We're like, yeah, it causes tidal waves. Well, there's something like that. I don't know. It's not the moon, but I'm saying there is a magnetic pull that communicates with us. I mean, it's the spirit of God, but I'm saying there's something that has everybody's antenna going, something's going on in spirit. And I know so many of you feel it because so many people have reached out to me since I started that new group, and I'm overwhelmed by all of that. Hang on, I'm going to mute. Keep hearing noise. Anyway, I'm going to read the chat messages really quick, and then I'm going to pray over everybody. Hang on a second. Yeah, I know I've got several private messages, and a few of you have just said it, that this week has been awful. And I also know that there are several of you still striving for Leaders Retreat. And I'm so excited about Leaders Retreat. I just can't. Hang on. That's a good question that Chad and Krista just posted. I'd be interested to see what people say to that.
I have something to say on that.
Okay, tell us.
What I was told to do with Periscope, just live your life through it. Show your normal life. Don't bring your business into it. By doing your normal day-to-day life and just your normal quirkiness, your business will take off with Periscope. But don't push your business through Periscope. And that's kind of like what Lori teaches us with Facebook. Don't push your business on Facebook even. It's kind of the same kind of mechanism, same concept.
Yeah.
I have some a video that I need to post on the Butterfly from a training that I had Vincent from corporate give us on social media. I still need to get that posted there, and I'll try to get that done tonight for you guys.
I couldn't agree more regarding Periscope. People want, I mean, we're voyeurs by nature, so we want to see what people are doing, and if they're willing to show us, we're like, well, I'm nosy enough to watch. And I don't think that they'll keep tuning in. I have a platform where most of my people who follow me on Facebook are not even on my team, because I have more friends than what are on my team. So sometimes I'll get on there and do training stuff and that sort of thing, but I know that that's not reaching outside people. So I would say that to reach outside people, just like he said, it would be way more effective. And oh my gosh, the Dearies, you guys, you have your kids, your life would be so much, there would be so many interesting things that you guys could video blog about, just showing us a glimpse into your life, because I'm nosy enough. I would just want to see what it's like to have that many kids and be able to keep a household. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not even good with 2 kids. Like, I'm just like, I can't believe God let me be the boss of 2 people. They said, yes, we have our first viewer. That's me. Yeah, you make sure and you send me your Periscope handle, because I want to watch. But I think that would be a perfect, and if you're just out doing something, even you're personally seeing something, like we went to the county fair tonight, we watched the turtle races. I mean, baby Jess was in the turtle races. That would have been a perfect thing to Periscope, just because people are just nosy. I think Periscope might as well be called Nosy Scope. Basically, to me, that's what it might as well be. And also, if you enjoy like putting your life out there, like I only do it when I really want to, but it is, I mean, so that way it's not exactly like reality TV, but you are getting to broadcast live and people will join in. So anyway, okay, I'm going to shut up about that. Let me see if there's any more things I need to address. Okay. I'm not seeing anything. Hang on one second. So, okay. I'm going to pray over you guys tonight, and I will figure out what we're going to do about next week, and I'll make sure and get it on the Butterfly page. So Lord, tonight we just come to you with open hearts, and I pray that you open the eyes of our heart, Lord, that you would, whatever this is, this antenna, that we all sort of feel like something big is coming, some big shift is about to happen, Lord, that you remind us how exciting it is to be living in these times. How exciting it is to have the privilege to be able to work with people in something that's positive, something that's uplifting. I just thank you for the ministry and the call on every single person that you have brought into this business. There's so much that it is almost overwhelming. And I pray that no one is overwhelmed. I pray that we step gracefully into it, even though we may look like, like when when like a calf is born, we may look like we're trying to walk for the first time. I pray that we take it with grace anyway. I pray for everyone who's going through struggles, Lord, and I feel like we're just supposed to speak life into those situations. So when I say anybody who's going through struggles, I should say that with past tense. I thank you so much that any struggle that we go through is merely a stage or a lesson, something that we're supposed to glean information from to be able to take that next step, go to that next level, jump into the calling that you have on our lives, Lord. And I pray that you can give us the eyes to see it that way. Give us the heart opened to being willing to see what that is. When it feels like struggle, remind us that it's our judgment that we put on something. We judge it as harsh, or we judge it as feeling awful. We put a judgment on it, and when we should really just look at it through your eyes and say, Lord, what's the lesson here? Show me the lesson. Help me to glean as much from this as possible, because it feels painful, and I would rather come out of it on the other side victorious. I'd also rather come out from it. I'd rather come out on the other side saying, hey, I learned that lesson, and I don't have to have that same lesson again. Thank you, Lord. Because isn't it our stubborn nature that makes us feel like we have to struggle through a lesson, and we just put ourselves right back in the situations again, Lord. And I thank you for pointing that out to us too. Everybody who has a heart that feels defeated, Lord, fill that heart up with grace. Teach us instead to go out and love on people. Look for people who are less fortunate than ourselves. Teach us to look for people who are in devastating pain. Give us a scale to measure it by. And as we begin pouring into those people's lives, you'll bless everyone. And teach us that that's what life is. That's what it's about. And I'm grateful to us that you show us that you don't hide those things from us. I'm grateful that we know that to be a blessing is the biggest blessing. I'm thankful for strong marriages in this team. I'm thankful that you're beginning to teach me to speak over things in that way, to be thankful for strong marriages rather than worry about struggling marriages, because you see us as healed and whole. And I want to see us as that way too. You see us at the finish line because you're the author. You've already written the last sentence in our book. You already know how the story ends. And so I praise you for the last of the story. I praise you for the whole story that got us to the last of the story. Praise you for the whole book that gets us to the last sentence, that's a sentence of victory. And I claim those things right now in victory. I say, thank you, Lord, for a marriage that is whole. Thank you for bonded relationships and families. Thank you that you never use a Band-Aid, that you always do just the right kind of surgery and you piece us back together the way we were supposed to be in the first place. Thank you for our kids. And thank you that you're always completely present in when we're raising them and maybe even goofing up doing so, that you're always completely present and you're there in the juggling act. And if we could just tune into you and your presence there, Lord, I just praise you for that. So grateful. I lift up families who have family members that are away, maybe in the military. I'm not sure what I'm sensing right now, but something like that. Family members that they miss very much, or those who have lost and suffered extreme loss, Lord. I just say thank you for reminding us that it's not this side of heaven that matters anyway. This side of heaven is all about learning and loving. And then it's all about eternity in the end. That we're just a blip on the map. I thank you that you have so many of us tuned in and focused to your great picture right now. Even though we don't know what it is, we can't seem to make the blurry lines go away and be able to focus in on the picture. I still am grateful that those of us that are awake are crisply awake. And I praise you that we're not sheeple, that we are not blindly following, that we're out there seeking your face daily, Lord. Thank you for that. Thank you so much. Thank you for the people that you're raising up right now to head into strong ministries that are tuned into your call. Thank you for those people. Thank you that you created them in the first place. Thank you that you had them in mind since before you even formed the earth. We love you so much, Father. We're so grateful for your grace and your mercy and everything that you do in our lives. And we even thank you for all the ways that we're called and for planting those seeds in our heart that make us receptive to your call right now. Thank you for this company. Thank you for this team and for willing hearts, Lord. All these things in Jesus' name, amen. Sorry, that was a long one. I'm sorry about that. Not really sorry, but if you don't like prayer, I'm sorry. I'm sorry in more ways than you can imagine. Sorry about that. So, woo. He has me right now at full attention. Like it's a full daily attention. I've always read that the verse that says pray without ceasing, and I've always thought that's really, how would you get anything done in the day? Well, I have realized that prayer is so different than what I grew up thinking, because that attentiveness to always, like, if your prayer life is like, if you feel like, gosh, I don't know that I ever like get on my knees and like, emergency room pray, but because I really don't. I don't really like, I'm not ceremonial about it, I guess. And so I've sort of beat myself up, and then I've begun to realize, but I walk through my day tuned in. Like I run everything past. I'm like, Lord, is that you? I mean, especially right now, he's got me in full attention mode. I'm like, is that you? I'll talk to someone, have a conversation, and they walk off, and I'm like, did you hear that, Lord? I mean, I don't say this stuff out loud. I mean, not always. I am pretty creepy. Which one of y'all unmuted yourself to laugh? The Aaron. I'm like in full. Did you know that before we started these Zoom calls that I had never prayed out loud in front of anyone? Like Jetty and I had sort of tiptoed into praying together sometimes. And even then I was sort of, backwards or quiet about it. And then once we started doing these every week, and I am not bragging on myself because I leave these things drenched. I mean, completely drenched. My shirts are all the way to my, the tops of my pants completely soaked from the fact that I know that I'm going to do this. And every week it doesn't change. It's like, here we go, we're going to pray. And it's like the Lord had just said to me, all right, it's time to pray. You're going to start praying over these people. And I don't know why I decided to share that with you guys tonight either. Probably to encourage you that if you think, gosh, I don't think I pray very much, but if you spend your day tuned in, that's the same thing. Or if you run your big and little decisions past the holy Moses, not Moses, holy Moses. If you run all your big and little decisions every day through that sifter, do you know what I'm saying? That it's like, Lord, I don't know if this is you. I don't know if this is important to you. That's what prayer is. I mean, it's a communication throughout the day. It's thinking your prayers. It's saying your prayers out loud. And so, okay, so I'm sweating. Just 1 second. Just see if I have anything. War Room. Oh my gosh, who said that? Yes, War Room was, and Carrie said that. It was so incredible. I think it stayed at the top. From what I understood, I only heard this like a little blip of it on the radio or something, but it was like at the top of the movies this week, top of not just Christian movies, but like at the very top of the box office movies. I may have that wrong. Does anybody know if I've got that right? Anyway, regardless, it's totally, I mean, all of those movies that are put on by that company, they're not famous actors or anything, so you don't go to it thinking, oh, I'm going to see great cinematography or whatever, but the message is just, wow, it's so good. It's totally worth going to. It's totally worth taking someone with you to see it. It was a very good movie, very moving. Like, I didn't think I was going to, especially at the end when the lady started praying. I mean, she prays through the whole thing. The whole silly thing is about prayer. But at the end, when she started praying, I was like, oh, my Lord. I didn't think I was going to be able to get up and leave. I felt like so overwhelmed by it all. So I definitely encourage you to go see that. And you guys say a prayer for us because we're flying out on Friday we're leaving Ardmore early in the morning, and then we fly out. You know, we can't fly out of Ardmore. I know y'all know that, but we're like a 2-hour drive from where we fly out. We're butterflies, and we still have to drive to the airport. So anyway, does anybody have a question tonight or anything that they want to discuss before we go on here? Because I'm going to be gone for a whole week. Don't tell anybody, because Jetty's worried somebody's going to rob our house. No, he's not. He's not. They better not. We got cameras, yo. If you tell anybody we're gone, you better tell them that. Trail cam, catch you in the act. Okay, seriously, does anybody have a question? Oh, wait, hang on. I want to see what Becky just said. Oh, first I got to say what Laura said. She said a man stood up and gave an invitation after War Room. What happened? Laura, did anybody feel invited? Did they go up there? She's probably gonna type it. I'm dying to know.
She's trying to unmute herself, but it keeps going on and off.
Oh, okay. You'll have to share with us if you can, like either type it here or share with us on the butterfly page. I don't know why. I'm not keeping muting you back. Missy? Last year, Missy came and cleaned my house while I was gone.
Well, I'm just saying I'm not going to be there to babysit your house this year.
Jetty has pretty much cleaned my house before we've left.
Thank you, Jetty.
She has other projects that are more important right now.
That is exactly right. I got to build something for some other people, so we're good.
Let's just get this on recording. While y'all are all listening. Yo, Erin.
Yeah, what is she doing, Erin? What is she doing?
Yeah. What's she doing?
She's building me a house. Well, she's making an apartment. because I'm moving to Oklahoma.
Woo!
Okay, right
Everybody
now,
else is like, yeah, big deal, lady. We don't care.
right now would be a really great time for me to raise up my prophetic Christmas card that Aaron sent me. Story. Can I tell that story? I won't
Yes,
tell
you
the whole-
can.
Okay,
No,
I'll
you can.
tell this. Aaron sent me a Christmas card at Christmas that was, it was a white envelope. I wish I had it on me right now, but I think it's over across the street at
You
the
don't know where it is. You don't have any idea where it is.
office. You don't know. Anyway, so I'll have to find it eventually, like soon, apparently. But anyway,
I have a picture of it saved.
yes, I have a picture of it. So anyway, when I opened the envelope, I didn't pay any attention to what it did when I opened it. But later, I don't know how much later. Do you know, Aaron?
It was January.
So January 5th,
January or February.
my son walks in and he hands me the envelope and he goes, "Does this look like anything to you?" And when he turned it to me, it's a white envelope and she had taken a picture. The majority of the picture was like this old red barn. And right in the center of this shape, that where I ripped the envelope, the shape made the perfect state of Oklahoma. The panhandle over here, and then the pan with even the little jagged edges. My son was even showing me on his iPad, or on his phone. He said, "Look at this. This is the exact shape of the state of Oklahoma." And I was like, "That's weird." But it is. I mean, it's like identical. Even the little jagged edges were almost identical to the bottom of the state of Oklahoma. And she has a heart drawn like "Love Aaron," like right in the mid center. You see it? Okay, she's showing us there. Hang on. Let me see if I can. I don't know if it'll let me. Oh, can y'all see that at all? Okay, so it's the shape of Oklahoma. Yeah. So anyway, I said to her, "Look at this." I was like, "I think you're going to be an Okie one day." She lives in Pennsylvania, y'all. And she's like, "I don't know. I've thought about one day I might move. I might be like to Texas or something." And I was like, "Well, it should have been shaped like Texas, but it was shaped like Oklahoma." Anyway, yeah, she's moving to Oklahoma. November
6th.
November 6th. That has been an interesting turn of events, how that came to be. Missy Shores, who is my friend Aaron Crow. Don't be trying to steal her.
No, ma'am. There's plenty for her to go around.
Okay, you are right about that.
Carl's like, yep.
So,
Oh, all y'all.
Missy, who lives in Newcastle,
All y'all.
currently making a place for her across the street from her. I want
In
to
an
tell you how,
airplane hangar.
I want to tell you how I'm connected to Aaron. Jetty's cousin is a level 1. We barely even know Jetty's cousin.
I
Like,
didn't know how to say his last name.
we didn't know how to say Jetty's cousin's last name.
too. We just say it in Oklahoma style.
Yeah, just like Crow. Anyway,
No.
so Jetty's cousin, Bob and Kelly. There's Bob and Kelly, and then another person in between, and then right, and then it's Aaron, right underneath.
Yeah.
It? Okay,
Yeah.
so we don't know Aaron. Like in pre-Plexus time, we didn't know Aaron at all, like at all. And then Missy is my friend, my best friend, my level 1. And so the only way that they know each other also is through like this kind of stuff. And now Aaron and Missy are about to be cross the street neighbors, all the way from Pennsylvania to the Oklahoma City area. That's actually even like midway down my list of the ways in which God is doing crazy stuff right now. Like, I can't believe that something that unusual is hitting like, 7 or 8 on a list of 10 things that are like, holy moly.
And my husband is building her an apartment.
Yeah. So,
Who is that? That was all God.
yeah, it's all crazy. There's so many other things that are tied up in all that I don't feel at liberty to say yet, but we can tell it some other time. But it involves the McCrackens. You guys know the McCrackens that are on here all the time. Jesse McCracken and they're another level one to me that have no connection to Missy or to Aaron. And anyway, so it's interesting to see the bonds and the network that God is creating. That this company has shoveled us all together. But anyway, I'm super excited about Erin. She's gonna quit talking like she's from Pennsylvania. To start talking like a normal person, like the rest of us do. Anyway, so
I've always been weird. Everybody always thought I was. Now I'll just fit in out there.
So anyway, I'm gonna check the chat one more time and then I'll let everybody go. But wow.
Lori, I
Yes.
finally figured out how to unmute myself.
Oh, is that Laura?
Yes.
Okay, tell us.
Yeah, all through the movie, people were clapping and cheering and amening. And at the end, this little old man stood up, and his church had paid for 2 showings. Everybody who came in got a free ticket that whole day. And so, well, the 4 o'clock show, they had 2 going because there were so many people to see it. And then he stood up and he started hollering and talking about Jesus and getting saved and all this stuff. And people were like cheering and clapping and yelling amen. It was really cool. I didn't see if anyone went down or not, but because people just started getting up, moving around. You couldn't tell if they were going down to him or just leaving or what.
Right.
But it was a really cool movie. It was amazing.
What town were you in?
Ardmore.
Okay, I thought that I knew that was the likelihood, but I was making sure you were actually here when it
Yeah.
happened. So cool.
Yeah, I heard it was Milo Baptist Church that paid for all those tickets. Me and my daughter decided to go like 5 minutes before time for it to start. We got there, we go running inside. Is there any seats left? And because we couldn't buy a ticket online. And they said, oh yeah, there's free tickets, and just handed us free tickets. It was crazy.
That's awesome. Wow.
Yep.
Well, you guys have a great night and a great week, and I will either see you next week or I will make alternate arrangements. But
Have a good trip.
thank you. I'm super blessed. Oh, wait, Pam?
Crystal has a question.
Okay. Okay, hang on. Missy, she says her hubby is a firefighter in Midwest City. Oh, wait. What? Oh, wait. Missy's saying that, too. Okay. Is that what you're talking about, Pam?
We're talking.
No, Crystal Harbach had a question up here somewhere.
Hang on. Okay. Okay, yeah. She said, I've been stagnant, been an ambassador for 1.5 years. My ambassadors don't stay active, so I haven't made it to silver. How can I get over this hurdle? Well, without going into complete psychiatric, I can give you a few guesses, and then you can take this and do with it what you want. But my guess would be, first of all, I would encourage you to make sure you're looking for people who are not, what am I trying to say? Not trend customers. And trend would be people who get in the company looking to lose 10 to 15 pounds. People who get in this company and get on the triplex because they're very sick usually don't go anywhere. Also, I used to hear this when I was like 19. I got involved in Mary Kay. I didn't know what I was doing, but I heard them say, now just because you got in this business, because you was pouring on welfare, they were talking to us in Mary Kay, doesn't mean you need to go out and look for a bunch of other people that's pouring on welfare, blah, 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 because you think that they need the money. And I remember being like, well, that's who needs the money. I mean, when I was younger, I remember thinking, that's who needs the money. And they were like, no, you need to be looking for business-minded people. Well, even when I started Plexus, I remembered thinking to myself, okay, now, who needs a job? Who needs money? Who would have time? And the truth is, it's all the opposite of those questions. It's the opposite of what you think. It's the people who don't seem to have time. They don't seem to have time because of the fact that they like to be naturally involved in things, busy people. And by busy, I don't mean like busy bodies. I mean people who, planners, organizers, people who have a large sphere of influence, people who are naturally, like Leslie Zann calls them, Pied Pipers. They can say something on Facebook and everybody's like, I want some of those. I need some of that. And if you're looking for, I'm not saying you don't need to look for people who are sick are never going to leave your team. If they're sick when they start and they get well, those are great people to have on your team. So I'm not really saying don't look for, that. You definitely want to have people like that on your team, but you also want to look for people who are business minded, who can take a look at our compensation plan and be like, that's a wise investment. If that's not the type of people you've looked for in the past, or if you can see a trend in the people that you have recruited or the types of people that your level ones have recruited, and it's the trend of, I don't know, sometimes it's a trend of negative people. You said 1.5 years and you're silver. Is that what you said? Yes. Sorry. See if she's in.
Hey, I'm not silver yet.
Not quite.
I've signed up. Yeah, not silver yet. I've signed up 4 ambassadors, but only 1 is active.
Okay.
Um,
I do have one more piece.
I
I was sitting here kind of
okay.
thinking about it. I would encourage you to make yourself a positive affirmation thing that I want you to hang on your bathroom mirror that talks about people, business-minded people are naturally attracted to what I have to say. Business-minded people, what is that? Is that your positive affirmations, Carl? Okay. Positive affirmations. I want you to begin to think of the things that you probably tell yourself that are not positive. Like, I don't know if this business is ever going to work for me. Maybe I'm not cut out for this business. Maybe it's things that link all the way back to when you were a kid. Maybe it's stuff that you tell yourself that you're not, people don't listen to me, whatever. I don't have a good sphere of influence. And I want you to write the opposite of that. In fact, I did a thing on my Selling from the Heart group where I had them all take Band-Aids. Did you see that? Okay. I want you
I never got past the Band-Aids.
You what?
I had trouble coming up with positive things to go against the negative
Okay.
for the Band-Aids.
So, okay, here's what I encourage you to do is I encourage you to get with your mouthiest friend who likes you and who loves you. Like the one that will tell it like it is to you, straight to your face. And I want you to sit down with them one-on-one and say, these are the things, I want you to look at this list. These are the things I tell myself about myself. I only do this with someone who loves you. Like my friends that I would be doing this with would be Missy. She's mouthy. She'll tell me like it is. And she's not going to like, I want to say pussyfoot around it. She's not going to be like.
She's not sugarcoat it.
Yeah, she's not going to sugarcoat it. And she's going to say, you need to quit talking about yourself that way. And then she or he or whoever it is that you pick will help you come up with things. Because basically that's what's going on. Hands down, hands down. If you can't think of the things to say, then that's what's going on. You need to work on your positive affirmations. And then I want you to actually like make copies of that. I want you to put them on your steering wheel. I want you to put them on your bathroom mirror, by your nightstand. And I want you to say these things to yourself all the time. I want you to repeat them to yourself. And it sounds crazy. I know it does. But it will begin to change the way you feel and the way you think about yourself if you're constantly reminding yourself. A great way to do it is to use scripture. Like I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Missy decided to return, but it was after I talked about her.
I'm sitting here listening. I had to French braid the child's hair. Jeez.
Okay. That is the friend right there. That friend right there. That's the one you look
That
at.
friend right there.
Right there. If you have one that will tell you like it is, who also cares about you, find you one like that who will say, I don't know why you talk that way about yourself. And if they love you enough, they will sit down with you and help you come up with positive affirmations, okay? And if you need help from me, I don't know you well enough. That's why I said get you a good friend that will help you. Because usually you can tell, usually you can diagnose a friend before they even know they have a problem. We know each other well,
Right.
and our intuition. And Missy can peg me. She'd be like, well, the reason you're so depressed is because you can't seem to get your act together. Your house is always a mess and you scatterbrained. She may not say those things to me. And then I might turn around and say to her, well, what your problem is because you got control issues. We're just doing what your deal is this. And we can say those things in love to each other. And so instead of telling each other what your issues are, have your friend help you come up with some positive affirmations, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I've made this call entirely too long, but I do appreciate you guys hanging in here with us tonight. And you guys have a super week, and I'll be talking to you soon. Love you guys.